And see, well, we're going to try to assess. I won't count all the cards, but we'll see which one is majority. Okay, the first word is Taylor. Taylor.
Okay, you'll have to help me here.
I think it's more blue than pink. Okay, so it's blue, more majority blue. Okay. Next, chef. Chef. Okay, pretty much even. Some blues. Okay, thank you. See, times have changed. I think 10 years ago, if we said chef, puro blue ang lalabas. But now with all the females wanting to show how good they are at cooking, it's both now. Okay, head of family. Head of family. Okay, it's mostly blue. Kayo ha? Yabang-yabang ng mga babae. Okay, next word is brave. Brave, matapang. Matapang? Why more pink? Okay, now. Next word, crying. It's more pink. Thank you. I wonder why. Okay, next word is beautiful. Thank you. I think there are only like 5 blues. Okay, the next one is nurse. Nurse. Mostly pink still. Okay. Next word is talkative. Madaldal. Okay. Okay, mostly pink. Last two. Receptionist. Pink. All right. Last is gossiping. Okay, pink and blue, but mostly pink. So give me your feedback. What did you get out of this activity? We all have preconceived notions of what is male, what is female, what is masculine, what is feminine. Times are changing, but it's still very prevalent in our society. Okay? So that's what we're going to be talking about, what gender sensitivity is. And you have in your handouts, gender sensitivity is the act of being aware of the ways people think about gender so that individuals rely less on assumptions about traditional and outdated views on the roles of men and women. Okay? So, gender sensitivity, again, it's not how you judge people, but today we're going to show you how to be more aware, how to be more sensitive, how to be more aware about the other person. So the objectives today, to understand the concepts of gender sensitivity, to become more aware of one's prejudice and biases about gender issues. Maski na sasabihin ninyo hindi ako biased, you try to be more aware because as you walk in the street, you see someone, kunwari, tomboy, you already have a preconceived notion about that person. You try not to, and you try not to show other people, but you do. And it's being aware is the very first step to changing it. So you understand the opposite sex to foster a harmonious and productive workplace. So this is important here, now, how you can make it better in your workplace. It also promotes gender-sensitive behaviors to promote gender-sensitive behaviors to foster a harmonious and productive workplace. So what's the difference between sex and gender? I mean, we've been talking about this even in our news, the Laude case. Laude is a what? a transgender. Do you know the difference between a transgender and a transsexual?
Yes.
What?
Oh my God.
It's okay. What is the difference between transgender? Nakakalito eh. Okay, so you don't know the difference. Okay, that's fine. So let's go through it. First column is sex. So just think transsexual, sex. The sex part first, we'll go through it. It's biologically determined. We're born with certain body parts that you cannot change, strictly speaking. It's natural and given, refers to the different sex organs that we have between boys and girls. So it's a given. Everybody is born with one or the other sex. Okay? Move to the next column, gender. Gender is more environmentally influenced, socio-culturally determined, created by society, and it's taught and learned. It's dynamic, etc. It can be changed. That is transgender. Okay? So if sex is male-female, transgender is masculine-feminine. What is your gender? I'm feminine. I'm masculine. What's your sex? I'm male. I'm female. Diba? Pag nag-fill up kayo ng form, it says, what's your sex? So it's male or female. That's a given. Okay, so let's go to, right? Let's go to Jennifer. She's a transgender, which means she is still male, but eto yung mga impersonators, mga Dionne Warwick, lalaki pero gusto maging babae for a few hours or, right? So they cross-dress. Your cross-dressers are transgenders. So don't make a mistake. Transsexuals, it says in the bottom, it cannot be changed easily because you have people who go out of their way and change their biological appearance. So they'll take hormones, some of them will have surgery, but no matter what, ako babae, even if I go through surgery and magpapalagay ako ng penis, inside, I am still female. I still have my uterus, that's why you remember this Filipino who was able to get pregnant abroad, did you know that? He carried the baby. He carried the baby because he was originally female. So he still had the uterus inside, even if he was male outside. So that's the difference between transgender and transsexual and transgender. Question? Okay, so Laude was a
Gender.
was her sex?
Male.
And gender? Huh? Feminine, thank you. Yes. Okay, so that's the difference. Just so that you're educated, now you know the difference between. So there's transvestite. What is transvestite? Are they transsexuals or transgenders? Transgenders. Transvestites are the cross-dressers, are the ones who very pretty, but they're really male. Okay? So, understanding gender and gender stereotypes. Example of sex characteristics. Women menstruate, men do not. That's a given. Yes, it is a fact. Okay, men have testicles and women do not. What do women have? Ovaries. Ovaries. Women have developed breasts that are usually capable of lactating while men have not. So, if men want to have breasts, yes, some men have breasts. They call them man boobs. Some of them, either they were very fat before and then they lost weight. That was, it's a lot of the fat on their chest. Or they take female hormones if they want to go through that sex change. You even have, who who's female? Who is a female who wants to be masculine? Charisse. She's out of the closet. She says, I want to be a guy. So she's going to go through the process also. So that's fact. Okay, and men generally have more massive bones than women. Generally. Okay, you also have women who have a hormonal imbalance and maybe they have more testosterone than estrogen. So you'll have women with more facial hair or more body hair. Okay? And then men, the man boobs, or maybe sometimes the voice of the men don't become lower as they grow up. Okay. Examples of gender characteristics. In the United States and most other countries, women earn significantly less money than men for similar work, correct? That's not true here, right? Right. Okay, and in Vietnam, many more men than women smoke, as female smoking has not traditionally been considered appropriate. Do we have smokers here? Okay. In Saudi Arabia, men are allowed to drive cars while women are not. And I don't know if you know how in the Middle East the women are supposed to be covered up?
Yes.
You should see when they take out their yes. Ang ganda-ganda ng suot nila, di ba? It's all fashion. In the Philippines and most of the world, women do more housework than men. That's changing also. I think most households, majority of the households are dual income. The mother and the guy and the girl work for a living. So I'm going to show you a video. I have to go here. Let me know what you think of it. Okay, we'll try the microphone now. Sorry guys, we tested this 10 minutes, it was working.
Begin not only to develop gender constancy, but often show rigid standards for what they believe is appropriate. Children have a strong sense of gender identity and gender role expectations. Most 2-year-olds know with certainty whether they are male or female, and by the age of 4 or 5 begin not only to develop gender constancy, but often show rigid standards for what they believe is appropriate male and female dress and behavior.
Can boys put on dresses? Do girls have short hair or long hair?
Long hair.
Are you a boy or a girl?
A boy.
Are you ever going to be a girl?
No.
What are boys like?
Oh, I don't know.
Are they different than girls? How are they different than girls?
Because they don't put stuff like girls on.
Boys don't put on girls' clothes? Can
No.
girls put on boys' clothes?
No.
Alexis, are you a boy or a girl?
A girl.
Are you ever going to be a boy? Are you a boy or a girl?
Boy.
Are you ever going to be a girl?
No. Boys are better than girls.
Why?
Because boys are stronger than girls sometimes.
What would happen if you put on a dress?
All the girls and all the boys will laugh at me. I will look like a boy, that will look like a girl.
Would it be okay?
No way.
Young children appear to begin to acquire gender role stereotypes at about the same time that they develop gender identity, And by the age of 3 or 4, most children, when asked questions about the activities appropriate for a male doll and a female doll, readily give stereotypic responses.
Which doll likes to clean the house?
This one.
Who takes care of the babies?
This one.
Who goes to work?
This one.
Out of the mouth of babes, right? So, here's a question. When you were young, this is addressed to the men. When you were young, and this is honest, how many of you have tried on, or your mother forced you to try on a dress? Nobody? Thank you. Most mothers who wish they had girls, maski na isang beses lang, pustahan tayo, pinasuot kayo ng damit ng babae. Now, girls, how many of you, when growing up, you were maybe about 10 or 11, how many of you were told that you were tomboys? Me too. Diba? So, stereotypes. We had stereotypes, and believe me, when your mother or father saw you, gentlemen, playing with dolls, diba? No way! Talagang pinabawalan kayo, pinapagalitan kayo. And the same with girls. When you were playing with cars and getting dirty, you know, you have this preconceived, girls don't get dirty, they're mahinhin, they're, you know. So, funnily enough, that is not as much these days. I think parents are more liberal. They're more free. Like, I remember when my kids were young, my husband and I would let them just run in the yard. Madumi, okay lang. Mahuhulog, madatapat, okay lang. You know, as long as they're safe and they're not bleeding and dying, okay lang. You have to allow them to discover the world on their own. So sometimes some people who are gay say, I was born gay. I was born the other sex, the other gender. It's just a feeling. And that's okay. As long as they don't hurt anyone, it's fine. Okay? Any feedback you want to give on the video? So it's really stereotypes the children are told at a very young age. And that's why it's good to expose your kids, like the Laude case now. My 11-year-old was asking me about it. So I explained. I said, you know, we call a penis, we call the vagina, vagina. We don't say any other name. Okay? That's where I'm very open, my husband's very open about it. So we explained to them, he is a man who wanted to be a woman. Ano na lang. So, never mind. So, making kwento pa about the case. Okay, I don't know if you can see this. I don't think you have it. But this is just gender stereotypes. And roughly, women are dependent, weak, incompetent, less important, etc. Do you have that in your handouts? No. No, okay. See it? Okay, implementers, housekeepers, supporters, fragile, fickle, fearful, peacemakers, cautious, flexible. It's what women are stereotyped to be. Some of you may be there, some of you may not be there. Men are independent, powerful, competent, leaders, protectors, brave, aggressive, self-reliant, strong, competitive. It may not be true, huh? You may know men who are fragile, who are fickle, yung hindi makadecide, right? And you have women who are leaders. You know, you go abroad, not all overseas workers are domestic help or contractors or in the Middle East, diba? They're all in the construction business. Not all. You will go to Southeast Asia alone and you will see a lot of top managers in the hotel industry, most especially female and male. Actually, more female than I know. But we can succeed, you know? We don't have to stay within the box of stereotype. Okay? So what difficulties have you encountered in the workplace as men? And what difficulties have you encountered in your workplace as women? Can you give me an example? Example, when you're working, I can see someone smiling here. Do you have an example?
Understanding them when we have a
Very, very good. He was saying, what's your name? I'm sorry.
Dion.
Okay, Dion. Dion was saying, understanding women when they have their period. Okay? 50% of the time, let me give you a fact. It's exaggerated. It's sometimes women use that as an excuse to take it easy. Oh, you're laughing, huh? Taking it easy in the office. Taking longer in the bathroom, making makeup or making you know, it's some 50% of the time. But the other 50%, it's a real physical pain that we have. Right, girls?
Yes.
Okay. So, yes, you need to understand them, but at the same time, women should not use that, you know, to get away with certain things. And men, I suggest, my husband has learned through 25 years, he stays away from me during that time of the month. He knows. Actually, that's one lesson maybe I can tell you men. When you get married or when you have a partner, understand her physical changes. I used to love my husband when he's like, you were masungit last night, kaya pala, you got your period today. Or, don't you think it's that time of the month that you get your period? Especially pag masungit na. It's true. Because our hormones are imbalanced. But men, if you can do that to the women, I mean to be more caring and understanding, they'll love you forever. Okay, what else? Women. Women, what are your challenges with the men? Say it now or forever hold your peace. No, what challenges do you have?
Sorry?
Right.
Pride?
They're too proud to admit that they're mistaken.
Yes.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. Remember, again, that's the hormones, right? The men, believe me. Okay, we're going to go to the brain later. What else? Do you have any other examples? Who is stubborn, the men or the women? I think both. Both, maybe. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to he works, she works. But what different impressions they make. Okay, so for example, there's a family picture on your desk, which is so Pinoy. You'll see picture, and in the girls' cubicle, you'll see a mirror. Correct? Okay, family picture on the desk. If it's a man's desk, that means he's a responsible family man. If it's the woman's desk, family comes before career. Those are your preconceived notions. Okay, if you see a man talking with a co-worker, what is your impression? He must be discussing work or work-related matters. If it's a woman, nagchichismis. So when the man is not at his desk, he must be in a meeting. If the woman is not at her desk, she must be in the ladies' room. Correct? So going out on a business trip for the man, it's good for his career. And for a woman, what did her husband say? Neglectful mother. Okay. So leaving for a better job, the man recognizes good opportunity and the woman is undependable because she quit her job. See? So try not to get stuck in all these impressions of male and female. How do you want other people to perceive you as a worker here, as an employee? Because I think you are all responsible. And females, if you're producing the same number of
What are the results?
same number of results as your male counterpart, you make sure, and I'm sure they'll make sure you're earning the same thing. Right? There's no discrimination on salaries, for example. Lumang tugtugin na yan. They cannot pay the female less than the male. Okay, here's another video for you to enjoy about the stereotyping.
Worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for their daily races, going nowhere, and their tears are filling up their glasses. No expression, no expression. Mad world, mad world.
Okay, true or not true?
Try really
You do try it. Okay. You sure, huh? Huh?
What?
Someone said something to us. Okay. So how men and women are different. We are different. It's a fact. Physically, emotionally, we are different. So, we are different in our way of thinking. So please listen so that you understand how the other person thinks. Okay? For men, you tend to focus on one problem at a time. Okay? We have to do this. Eto na. For women, they tend to be intuitive global thinkers. In the brain, what is the right brain? Do you know what the right brain comprises of? What is our right brain? Right hemisphere. Creative. Your left is the logic, the thinking part. Okay? So, it is a fact that women, I'm sorry men, have 4 times more brain cells than men. Why? And that's why you can tell that women, hindi sila decisive. They can cross over the thinking part and the creative part. They're very, what do you think? Sila yung magtatanong. Yung mga lalaki, sige, gawin na natin. Ito. Yung mga babae na manager, sasabihin nila, what do you think? Do you think this is a good idea? Yun she'll get your collaboration. And it's a fact. Okay, so when you see that the men are stubborn or they don't want to move, that's because their brain can only handle that. It's not less or more, it's just that that's how we are made physically. But the men can decide, aura mismo, diretso, may decision ka agad. Yung mga babae medyo, ay, teka muna, tanungin ko muna si ganon. Di ba? Let me ask that person or that person before I make a decision. That's why women, when you go out, parati may kasama pag pumupunta kayo sa banyo. Sa comfort room. You're always making hata, correct? Men will go, they'll even do it anywhere. But you know what? Men will just do it. Women, no. So it's a collaborative thing. And that's because your brain functions like that. So men will take a linear, sequential perspective, while women will take a broader collective perspective. So it's a fact. So if you want the men to buy your idea knowing this, what would you do? You cannot tell him, you cannot tell Chito, let's do this project together. Si Chito, gagawin niya kaagad. Hindi, teka muna, let's ask muna. Some men find that weak. Why can't you make up do it already? Magtatanong ka pa ng kung sino-sino. Right? But there's a positive there. Some men think kayang-kaya nila, pagdating doon, palpak. Right? So that's why I'm saying there's a balance to it. If you feel, men, that it's a good idea to get a collaborative idea, to ask other people, listen to the women. Not that they're better than you, but maybe they have a point. Let's get the consensus. Women naman, don't ask 100 people for, the answer. Just ask 1 or 2. So that it just, for women kasi, that will reinforce na, ay, tama yung ginagawa ko. Tama yung decision ko. Women are like that. Okay? Take this home with you because it will help you in your workplace. It will help you understand your co-workers. Okay, the difference also now is verbal communication. Men speak more concisely and direct. Women tend to elaborate. Men will assert their ideas as if it was a fact. Women phrases ideas as questions and disclaimers. Men engage in bantering, make demands of the team, talk about plan specifics, and don't give feedback as frequently. Like I said, women want feedback. Do I look pretty? The man, do you hear the man say, honey, maganda ba yung suot ko? Hindi. Di ba? Maybe when he gets married or some special occasion, but I don't hear my husband ask me my opinion on his fashion sense. But I volunteer. And I tell him, maybe not that color or not that shirt. So it's understanding. And he will take it as good feedback. But the difference with men, do you notice how men have a short-term memory? Short-term, in other words, I can only give you an example of my husband. He's not Filipino, but he's a male. Okay? We go out the night before, and I introduce him to whoever. Nakilala naman niya yung tatay ng classmate ng anak namin. Okay. The next day, hindi na niya maalala yung pangalan. Sorry, not short-term memory, selective memory. As far as men are concerned, that's not important. So, okay, hello, Chito. The next day, I don't need to know Chito's name. Hindi na, it's not important na. And that's why whenever I have a very good memory, whether it is my mother or how I have a good memory, so every time we go out now, we're going and I remember the name of the person. Honey, you remember Chito? Of course I remember Chito. How are you? Ganon. Sa totoo, hindi niya alam. Where did you meet him? So women have a tendency to associate faces, experiences. Women will remember what happened to them 10 years ago. And a small detail, we will remember. And that's why when you break up with women, they will remember what you did to them, 6 months ago. Men will not remember. True? You won't remember the small details, but you'll remember maybe the important ones. Or your girlfriend will tell you so often that our anniversary is on May 25. Now, she's pounding it already in your memory. Don't forget my anniversary. So that's the difference. So don't expect your coworker to remember certain details that, as far as they're concerned, it's not important with the job at hand. Okay? And women will remember certain details that are good for the project, for example. Non-verbal communication, the difference between the male and the female. Men, you remain poker face. So, parang NR, di ba? Most of the time. The women tend to smile a lot. That's why they have the mirrors in front of their, in their work. How many of you have, women, do not have mirrors in front of your workstation? 4, 5, 6. Oh, dumami na. Really? No mirrors. But are you on the phone? You're on the phone. Okay, because also we train people who talk on the phone to have a mirror in front and for you to smile. Because when you smile, the person on the other side of the line can hear you. Iba your tone when you talk to them and you're smiling. So they know that you're happy and you're pleased to be of service. So, men, you nod to indicate agreement. The women nod to indicate understanding. Face-to-face, men, that's a sign of aggression. O ano, laban ka? Di ba? When you face another person. For women, they stand face-to-face to reflect engagement. We are making a connection. Si man, aggressive. Okay. And then, stand shoulder to shoulder to reflect collaboration. Women stand shoulder to shoulder to reflect disengagement. Often expand their presence to fill the room. Women often contract to make them seem smaller. Again, it's a generality